Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for coming out. First, I want to thank the fans for coming out last night to the Meet the Spartans night. I thought that was a really good deal. We were able to get some good work in, and obviously get a chance to see our fans out in the stadium, Spartan Stadium, which was our players were excited for that, and appreciate the turnout. Obviously, you got a chance to see us work a little bit, and so I feel like we got better last night. What we were trying to accomplish. The last the last scrimmage we had, feel like we got better as a football team. Just really gaining ground and working to improve. We're starting to turn our focus to Northwestern right now. We did a little bit of scout exchange. We'll do some more scout exchange the rest of the week, and then we'll continue our preparation through the weekend and on to next week. So uh, continue to make progress and gain ground. And with that, I'll open up the questions. Yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit more this week, a lot more this week, and ball security has been good. It hasn't been perfect, but it's been good. And we've emphasized that the entire out of season and in camp. Obviously, we know turnover margin is huge, and we learned that a year ago. And so, ball security is job security, and we talk about it all the time. I feel like our ball security has improved during this camp. The camp is not like what it used to be. You know what I mean? So, we're pretty much out of camp mode right now. We're on a little bit different schedule. We're not doing as much in the evening with the guys, right now. That's why I don't have my camp hat on. But we'll be working and practicing and things like that. Yeah, it just won't be, camp, so to speak. Yeah, I feel pretty good about what we have. We're working to build depth in the secondary. We have guys that they can cover. We need to continue to work on our perimeter run force. But I feel good about the guys that we have back there. The newcomers are they going to contribute? They're going to help us quite a bit. Well, he knows how to practice. He knows what the expectations are. He's got the length. He's got some experience. He has the ball skills, and so he has the traits to be able to help us. So I'm really glad that he's here. He's a good football player, and he's getting better. As we go. I think he's learning a lot here as well. Yeah. Well, a lot less penalties. Foolish penalties. You have aggressive penalties and you have foolish penalties. The foolish penalties we have to eliminate. Taking care of the ball is a big part of it. And mental errors. Making sure you know what to do. And our players are playing faster now because they do know what to do. And so we want to have a smart football team. You don't ever want to hurt yourself. On unforced errors. Turnovers. Penalties, mental errors, not knowing what to do. So we've come a long ways in that regard offensively, for sure. We're at about 95% right now, and I feel good about where we are. Yeah. We are, as you can probably tell, we turned the heat up in the indoor today. So it was not very warm outside today. So we practiced. And part of our practice was in the indoor today. I think we got up to about 88, so it's still at 88. We'll just have to see about that, right? Yep, we'll have to see. Hopefully, it won't get to that point.
We hope to get 100%.
Yeah, well, that's the goal, right? We just have to keep working towards it. And we still have competition, and we're building depth, which is good for us. We have quite a few offensive linemen on scholarship. And it's important to have depth at those positions, but we still do have some battles. And like we tell the guys, I mean, it's a fluid situation at every position. I mean, there's nothing set in stone. It's more important what you do today or what you do next, as opposed to what you've done in the past. And the only way that we can continue to get better is, to continue to have competition at each position and make sure that we play the players that deserve to play at that particular time. Yeah, we have more depth at linebacker right now, more than we had in the spring, a lot more. And so I see, at least 5 guys that can play for us at the inside backer position. So I feel good about that. Obviously there's still competition there, but the competition has been healthy and it's been good for us. And we have depth. I feel much better than I did in the spring at that position. I'm confident that our preparation will put us to a point where we're ready to play. I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't be ready and prepared to play based upon all the work that we put in the out of season and then spring ball, and we'll have 25 practices under our belt, so we'll be ready. It's important because football is a game of injuries, and you have to have a next man up mentality. And if you're in the game, you're a starter. That's the mentality. If you're in the game, you're a starter. And so we have to build depth at each position, so that we can rotate guys in and keep them fresh. Or if there's an injury, God forbid, then the next guy can step up and we can get high-level production, and be able to play winning football. Based on what I've seen out there, we've been repping 3 groups of guys, and they all seem to have a pretty good knowledge of our offense and defense and special team schemes. Now we'll see. As we go into game planning, there's a lot more focus on what's in the game plan, and sometimes it's actually better for the younger players when you get into a game plan week. There's a different energy for sure when there's fans. There's fans, there's a band, it's loud. Pregame. That was really probably the biggest difference for me. A year ago was just the pregame. It's just very, very quiet. And normally, the place is going nuts. The band's playing. The crowd's going crazy during warm-ups when the groups run out. And it wasn't like that. Once you start playing the game, it actually, you're totally into the game. And a lot of times, like during a play, you don't hear the crowd. You don't hear the crowd until before and after a play. But during the play, it's not really a factor because you're focusing on what's going on the field. You kind of don't hear them. So, but it was much more normal last night, and that was good for us. I'm glad we did that. I wanted to get our kids out there with the fans. I want to be able to connect with them and try to get a little bit of a feel for what it's like to get have the fans out there. You don't get preseason games in college. So that was good for us. Well, he's just improved as a player. Obviously he transformed his body. He's inspired me. I think I'm going to start doing some before and afters. I don't know how that'll play though. That might be a bad deal. But anyway, he's stamina. Be able to go harder for longer, and his quickness and things like that. He's able to play to his strengths. He's got really good initial quickness, balance, and body control. He plays with good pad level. He's a bender, and being able to transform his body in that way has really helped accentuate his positives. Excuse me?
Are they with the program?
The Gravely and Michael Gravely and Ricky White are not participating in team activities at this point. Cal Halliday, the body man, is what they call him, the body man, yeah. I don't know what it means. You have to ask those guys. That's one that I was watching film the other day and with Saeed, and he says, yeah, they call him the body man. I started calling him that, and it was like no big deal, so I guess that's his name. But he's a good football player. He's kind of a throwback guy. He doesn't wear anything on his arms. He doesn't even tape his wrists. He has no pads on, no tape anywhere. He's just old school, out there just, finding the ball. He plays off blocks. He's a rugged cat in there. I like him. Good football player. I'm gonna have to wait to see the release and what actually comes out before I can really, really weigh in on it. But it's gonna be interesting to see how things shake out. I don't have any right now. We're really just focused on our preparation for the game, and again, whatever happens, we're gonna stay neutral. We're not gonna judge it. It's not gonna be good or bad, right or wrong. It's gonna be, just is what it is, and based upon that, tell us what we need to do next. No, we need to focus on the game plan. Just the preparation. Getting into the scouting report, make sure we know our opponent, make sure we know the game plan inside and out. It's when you go into the first game of the season, it's going to be, you're going to get some unscouted looks. There's going to be some things that you're going to see that you haven't practiced, and so it's going to be what I call a rules game. where you're going to see something, you're going to come onto something, and you just have to apply the rule. And it's just going to be basic. What does the rule say we do to this, and then you play your rules out. So, that's really the most important thing. Making sure that we're fresh and ready to go in the game. So working with, Bill Burkhardt and Jason Novak and along with Amber and with nutrition, we have some strategies in terms of how we practice, what type of load we're putting on the players, and then the rest recovery aspect, because we have to be as healthy as possible and as fresh as possible going into that game. I mean the first game is it's the first game. It's always like that. And even when you get into the season, you still get unscouted looks. It's just in that first game you know a lot less. People have put it. They've had months and months to study themselves and maybe pick up some new things. So you're not exactly sure of what you're going to get, but that's okay. We're just we're not trying to build a rocket out there, man. We're trying to play ball. We just got to play with technique and fundamentals, apply our rules, play hard, take care of the football. Take the ball away. Just play good, hard-nosed, fundamental, Michigan State football. I'm sorry. I thought you were asking about me. No, they're used to the heat. So we get it outside, and if we don't get it outside, we're going to get it in here. But we're going to get him in the elements the best we can. He's a very versatile athlete. He can do a lot. He has a high level, elite type ball skills, and he's a willing blocker. Obviously you know that he can run the ball. He's really smart. He can play multiple positions. He's really good in pass protection. He knows what to do, and so he's just a very productive player for us, and a very valuable player for us offensively and on special teams. And Malik, you saw Malik last night. That was really the first time that he was able to really get out there and mix it up a little bit. And as you can see, he has the the skill set and the size that you're looking for to be able to block at the point of attack, and also create mismatches and at the tight end position in the passing game. Because he's a guy that he's got wide receiver in his background, so he's comfortable flexing out in space, but he's got the size where he can be efficient and effective for us in the box, at the point of attack, on or off the ball. So we'll just continue to see how he progresses, but all those guys have done a good job. I really like what Parks has done. Haven't seen him a year ago.
On that route?
Yes, we got NFL information, in the spring. Some studies came back, and one thing that was clear was that the Guardian caps do help protect the players, with head injuries and concussions and things like that. That was one thing that was like 100% clear. So we immediately, got them ordered and got them on the players. And it's mandatory for them to wear them, but we don't put them on the quarterbacks and like the kickers and the punters, because those guys don't get hit in practice. Right now we're not hitting them. So
That's a Michigan State mandate, right?
yeah, pardon me.
That's a Michigan State mandate.
What did they don't? Did
They
they?
wear the hat. They wear the hat.
Well, that's our team.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. That's yes.
I assume the players kind of like that. I don't know if there's no pushback on that or anything like that.
I didn't get any pushback. I told the equipment guys if there's anyone that has any questions or concerns, they can come file a complaint in my office, and they didn't. I didn't see no one came and dropped a note in the complaint box or anything like that. It's protecting them, and they all have them on, so it's not a big deal. They know it's for them. Even with the knee braces for the offensive and defensive linemen. Some of them they don't always enjoy it, but obviously we're trying to keep our players as safe as we can out here. It's a pretty rugged sport.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you. Thanks for coming.